Today is February 8th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic, and it is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today we are going to be reading Chapter 10 to Employers, pages 137 to the top of page 139, and we're going to be reading the 12 and 12, Chapter 6, Step 6, the first half of page 65. All right, my friends, let's get right to the big book. So just a little refresher before we begin. We were hearing from the employer's perspective here and his experience with employees that had alcoholism and how it destroyed their lives. Literally, I mean, they took their own lives, which again just shows how cunning, baffling, and powerful this disease is. And then once again, the cunning, powerful, and baffling part of it is that the employer himself, even knowing what happened to his employees, ends up becoming an alcoholic. So the last paragraph we read yesterday talked about, how nearly every modern employer feels a moral responsibility for the well-being of his help, and he tries to meet these responsibilities. So we're on the bottom of page 137. I'll jump right into it. Some employers have tried every known remedy. In only a few instances has there been a lack of patience and tolerance. And we, who have imposed on the best of employers, can scarcely blame them if they have been short with us. Here, for instance, is a typical example. An officer of one of the largest banking institutions in America knows I no longer drink. One day, he told me about an executive of the same bank who, from his description, was undoubtedly alcoholic. This seemed to me like an opportunity to be helpful. So I spent 2 hours talking about alcoholism, the malady, and described the symptoms and results as well as I could. His comment was, "Very interesting, but I'm sure this man is done drinking. He has just returned from a 3 months of leave of absence, has taken a cure, looks fine, and to clinch the matter, the board of directors told him that this was his last chance." The only answer that I could make was that if the man followed the usual pattern, he'd go on a bigger bust than ever. I felt that this was inevitable and wondered if the bank was doing the man an injustice. Why not bring him into contact with some of our alcoholic crowd? He might have a chance. I had pointed out that I had had nothing to drink whatever for 3 years, and this is the face of the difficulties that would have made 9 out of 10 men drink their heads off. Why not at least afford him an opportunity to hear my story? "Oh no," said my friend. "This chap is either through with liquor, or he is minus a job. If he has your willpower and guts, he will make the grade." I wanted to throw my hands up in discouragement, for I saw that I had failed to help my banker friend understand. He simply could not believe that his brother executive suffered from a serious illness. There was nothing to do but wait. All right, that concludes our reading in the Big Book today. I'll come back to that in just a second. Now we'll jump into the 12 and 12. All right, we're in the heart of Step 6, and the step is we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. And with that, we'll read the first half of page 65 today. It is nowhere evident, at least in this life, that our Creator expects us fully to eliminate our instinctual drives. So far as we know, it is nowhere on the record that God has completely removed from any human being all of his natural drives. Since most of us are born with an abundance of natural desires, it isn't strange that we often let these far exceed their intended purpose. When they drive us blindly, or we willfully demand that they supply us with more satisfactions or pleasures than are possible or due us, that is a point at which we depart from the degree of perfection that God wishes for us here on earth. That is the measure of our character defects, or, if you wish, our sins. If we ask, God will certainly forgive our derelictions. But in no case does he render us white as snow and keep us that way without our cooperation. That is something we are supposed to be willing to work toward ourselves. He asks only that we try as best as we know how to make progress in the building of character. All right, that's a great way to end today. I absolutely love that last paragraph. I have a friend that always says, go the process. It's the second part of the serenity prayer, the courage to change the things I can. There are some things we can change. There are some things that are certainly only in God's hands. But there are some things that we can change. It says right here, if we ask, God will certainly forgive us our derelictions. But in no case does he render us white as snow and keep us that way without our cooperation. That is something that we are supposed to be willing to work toward ourselves. This is something that we can work on. He asks only that we try as best as we know how to make progress in the building of character. So that right there, once again, this whole program is not about perfection. It's all about progress, right? To know what to give to God and to do our part. And I always think of Master Yoda. He says, do or do not. There is no try, right? For me, that's a call of action. I do what I can. Try to go the process, do the process. And I give to God what is God's. There are certain things that are in my control, certain things I can do. For me, it's a choice every day. Do I want to pray? Okay, I do. All right, get on my knees and pray. Do I want to look at the positives today? To act my way into the right thinking today? That's a choice. A friend told me a story one time of this neighbor that was sitting on the porch. And this newcomer, he drives by and he goes, hey, is this a nice town? My wife and I are about to move here, and it better be better than the last one because the last one was absolutely terrible. Traffic was bad. Everyone was rude. I am so sick of that old town. This town better be better than that. And the neighbor on the porch goes, well, I think you'll find what you're looking for. The guy goes, I better, and he drives off. A couple hours later, another guy comes by, and he goes, excuse me, sir, I'm a little new here. It's a little bittersweet leaving our last town because we've really got along with everybody. But we're excited about this new place, and we cannot wait to meet some of the people and do what we can to help the community. Is this a good town, sir? And the man on the porch, he goes, I believe you're going to find what you're looking for. And the man drives off. So I guess the moral of the story from what my friend was telling me is that, is if we're looking for the bad, we'll find it. If we're looking for the negative in life, we certainly will find it. However, if we look for the positives in life, the beauty and the miracles, the helpers out there, we'll find that too. It's out there. However, it's our choice. That is a power that we have. It's our choice of which one we're going to lean on. And boy, that always stood out to me. Going back to the 12 and 12, I think that's kind of what's going on here. That we try our best. It's a choice. We try our best as we know how to make progress in the building of character. And sometimes I have to pray, God, give me the willingness to try. Give me the willingness to make progress today. Even when I don't feel like it. Especially when I don't feel like it. And going back to the big book real fast, it's really heartbreaking that, here's an alcoholic employer trying to talk to one of his employer friends about one of his employees. And basically they gave the employee an ultimatum. And the employer is just thinking, oh no, this isn't good. Sometimes it just takes an alcoholic to understand another alcoholic and how hard it is to stop drinking. So we can just about predict what's going to happen to the poor guy. But anyways, guys, I've rambled on enough. I hope you all have a wonderful day today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And truly it is an honor and a privilege to be here in this lifeboat of recovery with you. And I am truly looking forward to seeing you back here tomorrow.